So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate something a little different for you guys, and that is one of the workouts that I often do, I'd say about once a week, maybe once every couple of weeks, and that is to take all my rounds and stack them together without rest and just do them straight. So in this case, I'm going to do 6 rounds straight. I'm going to go for 18 minutes non-stop. And this workout is one of the ones that I recommend in my complete training plans guide. I have a ton of different workouts on there focused on footwork, speed and power, endurance and technical efficiency. And this is up there in the endurance and technical efficiency aspect. And as you can see, still trying to go at a decent pace. I got the Hixo stats there, but the pace is a little bit slower than my normal pace, knowing that I have breaks, knowing that I'm going to go for 3 minutes, take a minute break and go again. Mentally you have to pace yourself, because once you get to about, depends on your fitness, but once you get to about 9-10 minutes continuous, you're going to start to feel it, especially if you're going at an honest pace, really trying to hit the bag with full-length shots. So one of the best things about this style of workout, the continuous throwing of punches, is to develop technical efficiency. Once those movements become smooth and natural and ingrained in second nature, they tax you way less. And again, boxing is so much of a skill sport that you can be in great shape, amazing physical shape, but if your body isn't able to box, if you're not efficient with the movements, then you're going to tire out very fast. And I think it's similar to swimming. I mean, if you first get in the pool, and you could be one of the top runners, top athletes in any other sport, but if you don't understand the technique of swimming, then you're barely going to last a couple laps. So boxing is similar in that respect. So here I'm going through a lot of the things that I similarly go through, which is I'm going to focus on my jab in the beginning and short combos. Then later I'm going to switch to southpaw. Then later a little more head movement and working on the inside, working on different things. And this pace here is about a 200 punch per round or per 3-minute pace. So I think I end up with about, in the 18 minutes, I end up with 1,188 punches. So it's almost 200 punches a round. Now, the reason why I like this workout is if you have any technical efficiencies or blockage points, let's say your shoulders or your legs or your lungs, it's gonna find you. The longer you go through this, you're gonna, if you take those breaks at the 3-minute mark, you can rest, your shoulders will recover, your legs will recover. You may not even discover what your main problem is. But as you continue to push and push straight through on time, I mean, I can feel this here by around 9 minutes in my lungs. I could probably work my oxygen capacity or my aerobic fitness a bit better. My legs seem to be okay, but my shoulders really start to feel it right where it counts. You're going to really start to feel it in that front deltoid, just along a little sliver of muscle. You're going to feel that exact point. And that's how you know you need to work on your technical efficiency and on your technique. Now, you don't want to train like this all the time, because technically, essentially, this is training slow. Even though I'm not going at an entirely slow speed, I'm training at a sort of like a jog, or let's say like a medium fast-paced speed. This is not pure explosiveness. So this is sort of that balance of boxing, is that you can train explosive, and you need to, so that you can understand the pace of a fight. But if you are only training explosive and not working on your technique, then you're not going to be very effective out there. You're just going to be sort of an explosive machine. You're still going to get tired, and you'll be easy to be countered. Whereas if you're always working on technique and not working at a fast pace, you're not going to have the speed and the juice to go. So my advice in general for training is getting those high volume rounds, getting as many rounds as you can during the week. Try to push yourself with continuous rounds. But once you get that base down and you are getting into sparring or fights, you do want to train explosive, meaning not necessarily all-out taxing speed, but full-out hand speed with quick, alert movement. And I think as most boxers get experience, again, we talk about training and what you should do versus instinct. And if you watch an experienced boxer or someone who's been around a while, they start to have an instinct for what works and how they should be training. So that's the other thing about a lot of these workouts, is that if you challenge yourself and really find out where you struggle and push past it, you're going to start to develop an instinct for what works for you or for what works in general. And this is how I discovered a lot of things myself. It's just basically putting myself in uncomfortable positions, training, and then not just taking the coach's advice, but you get out there sparring and you realize, oh, you struggle. And if you're struggling, really dying, then there's something you're not doing right. Or if you're doing it right, you just haven't done it long enough and you need a little bit more time. Generally, this workout, that's what I would like you to focus on. Take a time frame, let's say 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 18 minutes, and go continuously. And this is going to really improve your technical efficiency. Wherever you have that weakness, you're going to start to feel it. And if it's in your legs, then maybe less moving around. You can sit down low on your punches and really push your legs. If it's in your shoulders, then you know, okay, you got to keep working on your punch volume. If it's in your lungs, then it might not be in your boxing. It might mean that you need to get out there and do more intervals. But this is also a great way to discover where your weaknesses are. Secondly, the other big thing is mental. Once you've put in a number of workouts, 18 minutes straight, 20 minutes straight, suddenly when you have the 3 minutes with the 1 minute break, that 1 minute break feels like you're having a dessert. It feels like you just got a chocolate sundae put right in front of you. That minute of rest feels so good. So this is another way to really strengthen yourself mentally. And I found that I like to do these workouts often when I'm sparring. This continuous work is so taxing, and you spar hard for 3 minutes, and once you get that minute, you really learn how to relax during that minute, and the whole aspect of sparring becomes less daunting, knowing that you only have to go for 3 minutes and you get that little break in there. So the other benefit to this is mental, and I can tell you that for me, it's really helped in sparring. Alright, we still got a lot of time in the video left, and I'm going to just let this whole thing ride out, so it's up to you whether you want to watch all 18 minutes. You can even just click to the end if you want to see the stats, see the Hixo stats. In my other one where I'm throwing explosive, my average velocity gets up to about 14 kilometers an hour. You can see it's about 10.3. My punch count in the other videos is lower because I'm only doing a couple rounds worth just to demonstrate what's going on. But the intensity score, this is one thing that you're really going to see go up there. I think this intensity score gets up to about 5K, and that's the highest I've ever done while using Hixo in a video. So this intensity score factors in the amount of punches you're throwing, how fast you're throwing them, and over time. So you could throw 100 punches in 1 minute. Is going to give you a different score than if you throw 100 punches over 10 minutes. And so this intensity score kind of is a nice way to really assess how hard you're working overall. You want to, if you're using Hixo, you want to stack intensity score points. So you might want to have a week where you total up all your intensity scores and see if you can hit a certain threshold, see if you can hit a certain amount, or beat last week's total intensity for the week. But also going to use this time to talk about a few things going on in boxing, a few things that I get asked about, and I'm just going to give you my opinion on it. The first one is the upcoming Mayweather-McGregor fight. Now, I have to say, in all honesty, I'm not excited about watching this fight, and I'm in general not excited about Mayweather anymore. When he was, boxing in those years, let's say, all the way up from the 90s, but let's say even in the past number of years up till 2015, and I gotta admit, I liked Mayweather. I'm not gonna take anything away from his skill or technique. I still think he's one of the best ever out there. I know he hasn't fought everybody like people say, but he did win all his fights decisively, rarely got hit, and he really promoted boxing. But after a while, just the way things were going, I think it got a little bit toxic for the boxing environment. So I'm much more excited to see boxers these days like Errol Spence, Lomachenko, Crawford, Anthony Joshua. I'm finally that Mayweather's out of the picture. I'm much more excited about real boxing again. I've almost sort of reignited my passion for boxing now that I would almost say that the Mayweather stuff is a bit toxic. Now that it's gone, I'm much more passionate about boxing again. So this fight, really, it's just a hype show, and I'm not excited about seeing it, and I wish Mayweather would have just retired and gone off into the sunset. Even though when he was competing, I really did admire him and his skill, and I really did like watching him box. So it's almost like when he was on the scene, I loved him, and now that he's off, I just want him gone. But quickly, to talk about strategy for the fight, the strategy is very simple as far as I'm concerned. McGregor's weakness is that he can't fight on the inside. He simply really just can't hang on the inside. He's great at long range, full punches, has a ton of power. So McGregor, his strategy is if he can land that long range shot, if he can time that long range shot, that straight left, he might be able to catch Mayweather with something. But I don't think that he's going to be able to pull that off. But if he can, that's his only chance. Mayweather's strategy is basically to move around for a couple of rounds, make himself hard to hit. And that will make McGregor come forward. It will make McGregor try to catch Mayweather. And this is what Mayweather wants. He wants McGregor to try to catch him. And then once it gets into the later rounds, then Mayweather's going to let McGregor catch him on the ropes, or in the middle of the ring, wherever. He's going to let McGregor get inside, and by the time McGregor spent a few rounds trying to chase Mayweather and then finally gets there, he's going to think that he's finally in the place where he wants to be. But that's really ultimately the trap, because McGregor has no business being on the inside, fighting on the inside. We saw that against Diaz. Once he's in there working, he sort of falls apart. So Mayweather's going to move, try to get McGregor to come forward. McGregor's going to get to the inside in the later rounds, and that's where he's just going to get picked apart. Similar to Ricky Hatton, similar to what Mayweather did to Ricky Hatton. Let him rush and rush and rush, and then pick him apart on the inside. And that's different from Cotto or Maidana, who actually can fight on the inside and gave Mayweather a lot of trouble on the inside. Mayweather had to start taking those fights back to the center of the ring because it wasn't working against the ropes. So overall, I'm not really excited about this fight. I don't think I'm even going to watch the fight, but that's my prediction on what's going to happen. That's my overall opinion. Next one is Canelo versus GGG. Now this one is exciting. This is something to be excited about. And I wouldn't have said that a couple years ago, because I wouldn't have thought that Canelo could really hang with GGG. I wouldn't think that he really could, that he was on the level. But after seeing Canelo in his last few fights, he looks strong, he looks fast, he's always had good head movement, and he might really just be on the level. And also after seeing the way Jacobs handled GGG, I think that there is a possibility if Jacobs just could have worked a little bit more on the inside, won a couple more rounds, he would have had a chance. From watching the fight, I gave it to Jacobs. But after seeing it again, you could see that Gennady lands a lot of solid, stiff jabs, and those really count and those really add up. So my prediction for Canelo GGG, again, I was impressed with Canelo against Chavez, how well he came forward, how well he was able to handle the taller fighter. Now I know Chavez is not a fast guy. He's sort of a slower fighter, doesn't really pressure you, but despite that, he did put his best effort forward, I think, and Canelo handled it really well, and so I think Canelo's got the goods. A couple years ago, I would have said that GGG just dominates Canelo, but now I'm going to say I'm still going to give the edge to GGG because of the jab, because of the way he's able to effectively use that long-range jab and offset opponents. I think he's going to be able to offset Canelo's offense. Although, again, like I said, Canelo's looking like he has the speed to pull it off if he can get inside and work and get out quick. I'm going to give the edge to GGG, let's say a unanimous decision, 115, 113, 116, 112 on most of the judges' scorecards. It's going to be a good, close fight. I actually don't predict a knockout, believe it or not. I think Canelo, when he gets in trouble, he's able to get out. He knows how to get away from trouble, and I don't think Gennady's going to get knocked out just because of his chin. So if Canelo gets in trouble, he'll be able to move and get away. He will not gas out. And if GGG gets in trouble, or if he's getting hit a lot, I just think he'll just take those shots to the very end. So that's an exciting fight to check out. And but I still give just a little bit of an edge to GGG. So anyways, for those of you out there in the boxing world training, this video, take this as a little example for you to work your boxing, work this type of continuous workout once a week. And for those of you out there who are fans and also practitioners, leave your thoughts on the Mayweather McGregor. Leave your thoughts on GGG Canelo. I think that's going to be an exciting fight. Okay, so for the rest of this video, I'm just going to let it ride out. You can see here that I know that the clock is ticking down. I've got about a minute to go, so I'm really starting to pepper and work on the inside. And let me tell you right now, I can really feel this in my lungs. Like, this is where I feel it the most, and a little bit of my shoulders as well. This was definitely one of the tougher workouts that I've done, one of the tougher workouts you can do. So I urge you to give it a shot. Make sure you're thoroughly warmed up. Give yourself 4 or 5 rounds of shadow boxing. Skip rope, set the timer, and just go. Start with maybe 12 minutes, then next week go to 15, then go to 18, and then you can even go higher, up to 30. If you're going to go up higher, your pace is going to slow a bit, and that's okay as long as you're just putting in the time and really working the continuous time. Last final thing, London seminar. I think I've only got 5 spots left. So out of the 50, I've got 5 spots left. So 45 sold. That's August 19th. So if you're thinking about it, now's your chance to sign up. There's only 5 spots left. But if you can't make it this year, then most likely there'll be one next year. And my killer jab instructional video is free. All you got to do is go to my website, precisionstriking.com, leave your email address, and you'll get an email where you can click on that link and access your free killer jab instructional video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.